Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are, it is right now. You're right here. My name is Manuel, and it's my pleasure to welcome you. Today is day 53 of the show, and I have to congratulate you for making the best decision of the day to spend some time with me. Let's get started. A couple days ago, April 1st, was a truly great day to be an American. You see, the Artemis II launched, and for the first time in over 50 years, humanity was on its way back to the moon. And earlier today, Saturday, April 4th, it was announced that they are now more than halfway there. Wow. Now, let that sink in. It's not robots, it's not probes, it's human beings. This mission is going to take these astronauts farther from Earth than any human has ever traveled, slingshotting around the far side of the moon, the dark side, a place no human being has ever physically gone and returned from in this way. That is history in the making, and we're present to witness it. And it's only the beginning. This is step one in a series of missions that will culminate in Americans setting foot on the moon again in 2028. We're not just going back, we're building towards something bigger. Now, you would think this would be one of those rare moments where we all just stop and say, wow, that is incredible. But of course, this is 2026, so naturally it has to be politicized. And so you've got voices, almost entirely on the left, saying this is a waste of money, that we shouldn't be doing this, that the money should go to social programs, to homelessness, or even to supporting illegal immigrants. And look, I acknowledge that those are real issues that are important to real people out there. But the idea that space exploration is somehow a waste, that's not just wrong, it's backwards. In fact, it puts me in mind of the Luddites. Now, if you're not familiar with the Luddites, let me just explain very briefly. The Luddite movement were workers in early industrial England who smashed machines because they feared those machines would take their jobs. Today, we use the term Luddite to describe someone who is basically anti-progress, someone who resists advancement because they don't see its value or fear its consequences. And so, of course, here's the irony. The people who call themselves progressives are often the loudest voices against progress when it comes to something like space exploration. So let's go ahead and talk reality. First, this is about national security. There was a time when controlling the oceans meant everything. Naval power, shipping lanes, that determined who dominated the world. Now, that hasn't gone away, but now there's a new high ground, space, about the highest ground you can get. After all, we rely on satellites for communications, GPS, weather forecasting, military coordination, basically every aspect of our modern life. If an adversary gains dominance in space, they don't just have an advantage, they have the advantage. They have the high ground. And historically, whoever holds the high ground wins. So yes, returning to the moon matters, leading in space matters, not falling behind matters. This is not optional. But beyond security, let's talk about the future. Asteroid mining, real, tangible resources, rare minerals, energy potential, lunar infrastructure, stepping stones to deeper space, and yes, even Mars. And here's where it gets almost laughable. You have people who say the planet is overpopulated. Okay. They say the Earth is in danger. All right. They warn about long-term survival. Fair enough. And then those same people turn around and oppose the idea of humanity becoming multiplanetary. Think about that contradiction. If you truly believe humanity's future is at risk, then expanding beyond Earth isn't a luxury, it's a necessity, right? So what we saw on April 1st should have been a unifying moment, a moment of pride, a moment where we said, this is what we can do, not just as Americans, but as human beings. Just like when Neil Armstrong stepped onto the lunar surface and said, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. This is another one of those moments. But instead, we divide. And let's be honest about something else. If this mission had failed upon launch, or if, God forbid, anything were to go wrong over the next few days, you know exactly what would happen. instant blame, political blame. And it would be directed immediately and reflexively at President Trump and his administration. No nuance, no patience, just blame. That's the environment we're in. But here's the thing. None of that changes what matters. We are moving forward. We are pushing outward. And we are aiming higher. We are carrying the stars and stripes beyond Earth and into the future. So let's go ahead and take a look at a reframe. Progress always looks wasteful to people who only measure the present. But every major leap in human history, from ships crossing oceans to planes crossing continents to rockets leaving Earth, looked unnecessary right up until the moment it changed everything. The real question isn't whether we can afford to explore, it's whether we can afford not to. All right, that's enough for today. We'll continue next time. And as always, be useful.